Hey there, Postal here. So today I just got myself the mission, the operation order for the F5F, the Skyrocket. I've actually activated it. I just wanted to check out and see if it had the same process as previous operation orders, because there was no mention of it and it's been a while since there's been one, to where you could extend it. The initial operation order is just for 2 days. And then beyond that, to extend it an additional 2 days, you would have to spend 2 tokens. Tokens are not all that difficult to come by. I've got 243 of them, and goodness knows I've used quite a bit of them previously. You earn them through the daily missions. Sometimes you can also earn them, like if you get an ace or like Mcguire, McCampbell, like those kind of things, you'll earn tokens. So hopefully you've got a little bit stashed away, and that'll help you just extend the operation orders. I'm not even going to be able to play a game for another 24 hours. So I clicked on this just to make sure, testing out to see if you'd be able to extend it. And I was hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that you could, and I'm glad you can. So there's 15 missions. You can, of course, spend 140 certificates, which is something that you can purchase through the premium store. And order certificates. Let's see how many 140 would cost. Not that I would recommend buying this amount of certificates. If you desperately want this plane and you're willing to spend money on it, to me, look, 100 freaking certificates is going to be $25. I mean, it's a tier 5 plane. Like, there's no reason to spend $25. If you go to any of the other tier 5 aircraft in the game, they're $10. The Zero here is $12. The SE-100, which is probably one of the best tier 5 planes in the game, is $11. And so they're asking you to spend $25 to not even get it completed for the F5F. This plane, I'm assuming, is not like otherworldly, but it looks like if you're just spending the cash on this plane and not grinding any of the grind, you'd be spending like $35. It looks like which is just ridiculous. It's not worth $35. For the love of God, if you're going to spend money on this plane, frickin' grind something, and don't be spending $25 on this plane. All right, that being said, it can be gotten for free. It's going to take a while. I mean, it's just going to be a pain in the butt. But it's not undoable by any means. I feel like I can do this without spending $1. It's just going to take some patience. There's some missions on here, like getting specific medals. I'm sure for a lot of people out there, like getting a medal is not a big deal when you're not trying to get it. So for the last one on this part 15 is getting a Mcguire. I've gotten hundreds of Mcguires, but not trying to go out and get a Mcguire. So it's one of those things that it throws you off when you're trying to get it. It makes it more difficult. I posted one of my first videos was actually posted on trying to get a McCampbell. At the time, I had gotten quite a bit of McCampbells. They're like something that you'd get, and you're like, oh look, I can get that just by killing this one extra plane, and you get it, and you're like, oh, go to McCampbell's. Trying to actually get a McCampbell's medal broke me. Yeah, so go check that video out from like 2 years ago, I think. Anyway, so let's go start going down these parts, and I'm going to give my opinion on them. You're going to see the amount of certificates it'll cost to complete them. Technically, I'm assuming that if it's more certificates, that Wargaming considers it more difficult to complete. There's one that's 18, there's one that's 20, and there's one that's 26. So there's some pretty hefty ones here. But that being said, if you can get one of those ones that's 20, that's like between 5 and 10 of these other little piddly ones. So as far as certificates is concerned, so try to definitely do the ones that are higher on the certificate amount. Just because they'll get you more bang for your buck. So, part 1. Earn at least 500 capture points in any number of battles. I mean, on a normal game day, that's not a very difficult thing to do, I would think. Whether you're defending or attacking, you earn capture points in the sector. So, yeah, do that. That'll take you a couple of battles, you'll be fine. Part 2, cause at least 10,000 hit points of damage to aerial targets in any number of battles. Again, this is any number of battles. Obviously, you'll get it done quicker if you're playing tier 10, just because there's more damage to be done. Even in a light fighter, it'll only take you 2 battles in a tier 10 fighter, like a Yak 30. Or, you know, a Key 162, like planes that don't put out a lot of volume will still get this done in 2 battles. You go out and take a tier 10 heavy fighter, and you'll have this done in 1 battle. And granted, if you don't have tier 10, then my point is you can get, this will take you time, but you'll get it done. It's not like it needs to be done in 1 battle, so just keep working at it. Part 3, destroy at least 15 enemy multi-role fighters in any number of battles. So this one's kind of weird, and it's the only one that's unique to the, a plane type, like, destroy a certain plane type in these 15 missions. So, now keep in mind, multi-roles tend to be the highest volume quantity of planes in the battle. There tends to be, 2 bombers, 2 ground attack planes, 2 heavy fighters, 2 light fighters, and then the remaining are multi-roles, typically, which would mean there'd be like 4 multi-roles in the game on each team. There might be some variants. There might be 3 heavies or 3 lights. Heck, very rarely are there 3 GAs or 3 bombers on each side. But the best way to lock in a multi-role on the enemy team is go out in a multi-role. So this would probably be a really good mission for any of the really maneuverable multi-roles in the game, whether it's like the Batwings at tier 8 and 9, any of the British multi-roles, any of the F4U line. Those are pretty maneuverable and pretty good at taking down other multi-roles. So utilize those that are good at air-to-air combat, and you'll definitely do pretty well on this one. It'll take a handful of battles and you'll be done. Part 4, destroy at least 30 armored sections of ground targets in a single battle. I mean, it's a decent amount of armored sections. It's not, unattainable. It's in a single battle, so for me personally, I'll be using a ground attack plane in this mission just because I can be more precise in a ground attack plane. I can just focus my attack on armored sections. Whereas a bomber, you're a mile up in the air and you're throwing down bombs. I'm not really good at bombers, so that's why I'd be doing this in a ground attack plane. You could conceivably do it in a multi-role, or even some of the heavy fighters out there, but for me, I would think just going out in a GA or a bomber will get you this mission done relatively easily. Part 5, earn a flying Paladin badge. So this is going to be one of those like service awards, maximum efficiency badges, basically. And so it indicates you've gained the maximum efficiency in a certain aircraft type battle mission. I forget what this one is specifically. I know I've got I've got 100 or whatever of flying Paladin badges. I'd have to look and see how you actually earn it. So this is going to be one of those that's not unattainable, but just like difficult because you're trying to do it. Trying to get a 5 chevron mark in a plane type. That's what you would do to get the flying Paladin badge. Part 6 here, cause at least 50,000 hits. So this one here could take it could take 10 battles to do, just because it could take that long to get this specific mission. Part 6, cause at least 50,000 hit points of damage to ground targets in any number of battles. Again, like previous ones, like if you've got tier 10, yay, you get this taken care of quicker. Obviously, you're going to want a ground attack plane or a bomber. It's just straight up damage, so it's just hit points. You're not aiming for specific buildings or anything like that. And it's only ground targets, and it's any number of battles, so it could take you 50 battles. It could take you 1. It just matters how good you are and what tier you're able to play it at. Part 7, earn at least 20,000 personal points in any number of battles. So right now with the Crimson Dawn event going on, I have yet to play a game where I haven't earned 20,000 personal points. The games are longer. The games involve, just kills after kills after kills. I've gotten it's like 2 out of every 3 battle I'm getting an ace. And this isn't a heavy fighter, just knocking down bombers, knocking down enemy aircraft, and moving on. So this isn't any number of battles. If you're able to do Part 7 during the special going on right now, you'll get this done in 2 battles. Hopefully. I obviously don't know your skill set, but The multiplier right now for these missions is wonderful. So try to take advantage of this if you can. Part 8, participate in capturing at least 5 sectors. This one's a little vague because it doesn't mention, how many battles. Normally it'll say, in a single battle. So I'm gonna err on the side of it's gonna be difficult, and so it's probably gonna be participate in capturing at least 5 sectors in a single battle. Let's assume that, and if it's capturing 5 sectors in multiple battles, then you'll be pleasantly surprised. But for this, you're really going to want a heavy plane, a bomber, a GA, maybe a multi-role, but just something that's going to consistently capture sectors. Heavy fighters tend to be the best for that, though. Well, like I said, heavy fighters, ground attack, and bombers tend to be the best for that. Part 9, destroy at least 5 enemy aircraft when attacking sectors in a single battle. See, this one says in a single battle. Why couldn't you be? Anyway, so this one can be a little wonky just because the enemy aircrafts typically means you're not. It doesn't mean defense aircraft, even if they're red defense aircraft. You need to destroy enemy aircraft that are in that sector while you're trying to capture it. And so you don't want to attack the defense aircraft. So if you're going into that sector, you're trying to capture it, normally you're just shooting whatever's in front of you. You've actually got to ignore the defense aircraft and attack the other bots and humans, the actual aircraft, to get this mission. So do keep that in mind. That's why it's 12. It's a little bit more difficult. You're going to have to, I'd recommend something with a high hit pool. So like a heavy fighter would be best in this kind of situation, so you can take those hits, because you're going to take defense aircraft hits while you're trying to kill the non-defense aircraft. Does that make sense? Part 10, earn a Guardian achievement. For me, this is a really easy badge to earn. Guardian achievement is something that you can earn in one of those swivel fighters pretty easily. So, flip a sector and then just stay on that sector. So when I was producing the videos for the Yak lines, I was getting Guardian pretty consistently, just because you'd go to a sector and you'd sit there and you'd swivel and you'd own it. And that's how you get the Guardian. You just kill everything that comes into the zone, and you earn a Guardian. Now, you can earn it in basically any aircraft. For me, it's just easier with those swivel type fighters, so Spitfires, Yaks, Zeros. But really, I've earned Guardians in multiple types of planes. Just be aware of how you earn it. You need to. You're not utilizing a heavy fighter to the best of its ability if you're earning Guardians, if that makes sense. Light fighters are built to be Guardians, so why didn't I use that? There's some multi-rolls that could do pretty well at being a Guardian, so keep that in mind too. Let's see. Part 11. Earn at least 500 capture points for destroying ground targets in any number of battles. So again, look, it's like you're going back to the very beginning here. It's a pretty simple one. It's just capture points for destroying ground targets. So anything that attacks ground targets, which is any plane in the game technically, but you're kind of wasting your gunpowder if you're utilizing it for most of the fighters in the game. I would think this would be pretty easy or easier to do in multi-rolls, ground attacks, and bombers. Some heavy fighters are going to be very good at this, like the British heavy fighters up to tier 8 are going to be very good at this one. But again, it's any number of battles, so take your time if you feel like taking your time. Part 12, destroy at least 15 aerial targets in any number of battles. Again, with the mission that's going on right now, I can't tell you if I've ever, if this bomber escort thing, if I've had any of the games that were less than 15 aerial targets. So if you're able to do it during this Crimson Dawns, is this specifically the bomber escort? Yay, congratulations. It'll be pretty easy squeezy for you. Otherwise, it's any number of battles. So, if you get 5 in a battle, 3 battles in a row, you're done with this one. Part 13, destroy at least 90 sections of ground targets in any number of battles. So 90 sections does seem like a lot. That's why it's any number of battles. I've seen, not that I've done this, but I've seen people do 90 sections of ground targets in a single battle. It was pretty epic. Don't expect that, unless you're one of those players. But, there's no reason why this can't be done in a handful of battles. Just take your time and keep at it. Again, anything that's attacking ground targets that you're comfortable in is going to be what you're going to want to use in this situation. Part 14, destroy at least 15 aerial targets in a victorious battle. So this one's a little wonky. Obviously, it's got to be one battle, and you've got to win it. So this is one of those situations where like you'll go out and nobody's going out playing the game typically. I shouldn't say nobody. I'm sure there's players out there, some of the top nuts, nobody's going out there saying to themselves, I'm going to go destroy 15 aerial targets and win this battle. I go out and I say, you know what? I want to try to win the battle is my first goal typically. My second goal is to just do as well as I can, get as many personal points, yada yada yada. A very specific number here, and you have to win the battle. So yeah, you can get this done in one battle. Obviously, there's no reason why you can't get this one done in one battle, but it's probably going to take a handful of battles. It's probably going to take a handful of battles, just because you're going to run into situations where like you just weren't able to get that 15th aerial target. Or you lost the battle, you got an ace, but you lost it. It says aerial targets, though, so that includes defense aircraft. It's really anything that's up there flying. So if it's a bomber run, you're going to be able to utilize that and as an aerial target. And last but not least is this Mcguire Metal. So Mcguire is, I think it's 400 capture points in a single sortie in a heavy fighter. So this is one of those medals that, like, again, I've got hundreds of them. But I can't tell you that I've ever gone out of my way to go get a Mcguire Medal. Like, I'm going to get a Mcguire Medal. That's not been on my, it's never been my goal. So Mcguire Medal isn't necessarily overly difficult unless you're trying to get it, if that makes sense. So, yeah. That's probably why it's 26. It's the most in this grouping. It's going to be kind of wonkadoo to get. But anyway, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I just want to give you an overview of the operation orders. I'm sure you'll all get them eventually as well. I just got this in a crate. But I just want to give an overview of them, and if you need any helpful hints on how to complete it, then there you go. So I hope this was helpful for you. I'm going to post this ASAP, even though it's like 11 o'clock at night Eastern Time, just to be available for you guys. Yeah. All right. Good luck out there, happy hunting, and I hope you're able to earn yourself ye old FWF. All right, have a good one. Bye.